Hello, welcome to Loren's Adventures Out There. I'm Loren, obviously, and I'm with Castles, Capes, and Clones, where we discuss everything in the Disney universe. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. Today, we're going to be taking some questions from you. I asked people to send in their questions, and so I thought I got a whole bunch of them, which is great, and I thought that I would answer them today. Okay, so the first question is from Heather. She's asking what my favorite Disney memory or favorite Disney trip was. So I've discussed many memory on this show, so I thought I'd share something that I had forgotten. A friend had reminded me of it, and it was during this one trip where we were going to meet this character, and none of us knew who it was. And my friend wanted to keep it a surprise, so he took us hand in hand. We're all told us to close our eyes, and we went hand in hand to see this character. And when we got there, it was Darkwing Duck, a character that I had not met before, and I had been wanting to meet. And guess who? I'll give you one guess. Who burst into tears? Anyway, it was a great memory to have, and I remember it so fondly. Another favorite memory of mine is when we got to meet all of the princesses at the same time. And I was in the corner somewhere talking to Rapunzel and Moana, and then I suddenly fangirled out because I realized I was talking to two of my favorite characters. Not only what two of my favorite characters, but two of my favorite princesses uh, at the same time, and so it was a very magical moment. Let's see. The next question is from Eliza, and Eliza wants to ask me what Mickey Mouse's original name was, and that was Mortimer Mouse. And Lillian Disney didn't quite like the name Mortimer, and so suggested the name Mickey, and so his name turned out to be Mickey, and that is the truth of that story. One to grow on. Olivia asked if I could build a ride at Disneyland, what would it be? And I know that they have an Ant-Man ride at Hong Kong Disneyland, but I would really love to make. What they basically did was they threw an overlay over Buzz Lightyear. And what I would really like to see is like this high technologically advanced ride where we really feel like we have grown and shrank, and we really feel like we're, when we're tiny, uh, really get that feel that we're there. So that would be my uh, ride if I were going to do one. Would be an Ant-Man ride. Rich Romasanta asked, "What is my favorite Star Wars planet?" My favorite Star Wars planet, hello, is Alderaan. That was the planet of Princess Leia, and I am her number one fan. I stan her, and I was so sad when it blew up in the first few minutes of A New Hope. But when Cara Dune announced that she was from Alderaan and The Mandalorian, my heart just went pitter pat. So Alderaan has a very special place in my heart. Uh, Olivia again asks if I could sleep in any room in the Haunted Mansion, which would it be? This is a really good question because I don't know. I would say the ballroom, and the reason why is because I need to sleep with the TV on because I need to know something's going on, and it seems like all night long something's going on in the ballroom, and there's music. So that's a twofer there. So it's probably the ballroom. I'd like to stay in the ballroom. All right. So the next question is Rich actually asks, what Marvel storyline would I like to see made as a movie? So there was a story in 2006 by Andy Lanning and Dan Abnett. It was called Annihilation, and it was this like multi-comic extravaganza taking place in space. Like it didn't take place on Earth at all, and basically they were trying to save the universe from Annihilus and his bugs. And I just thought that that was such a great storyline, and I think I've heard rumors that they might be adapting this as a story, and if they did, I would be so happy. So anyway, that is my story that I would love to see adapted. So Rich and Olivia ask, what fairy tale would I like to be seen made by Disney? So feel like Disney has made enough European fairy tales for a while, and I'm glad that they're doing something in Asia for Raya and the Last Dragon. Um, I would probably return again to Asia for Japan. There's a fairy tale that I love from Japan called Urashima Taro, which is about a fisherman who gets invited to the Kingdom of the Sea, but when he returns back to regular land, everybody's aged quite considerably. And so it's a really interesting tale. I mean, Disney would probably have to do its own spin on it, but I think that it would be a really interesting story. So that would be that. Rich asked, what aspect of Star Wars, Disney, or Marvel would I like to see as a documentary? I would love to see a documentary on the intersections of space and magic in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. How does it coexist with each other? Like with the quantum realm and the multiverse, one being science and one being a little bit on the magic side. How does that coexist? Is Asgard a planet? Or is it an actual realm, like a magical realm, like it is in mythology? And another thing that I would like to see is Wanda's powers, the Scarlet Witch's powers, actually magic, or are they science because it comes from the Mind Stone? So these are all questions that I would love to see explored in the documentary for sure. So yeah, that's that. Next, Elijah wants to know how I feel about Marvel collaborating with Fortnite. I think it's fine. I mean, I'm always for characters getting out there, and Fortnite is incredibly popular. And so it's nice to see the characters getting out there. My only issue with it is that if you're going to add the characters to the game, and I understand that there is a limitation to the software of this game, but if you are going to add them to the game, I would like them to have their powers. I mean, it's weird seeing Storm running around with a gun when she has the ability to fly and control the weather. So that would be my only issue with it, but otherwise, I'm all for a collaboration with Fortnite. Okay, so Olivia asks, what if I could have any job with Disney? What would I do? You know, I've often thought about this. Because people always ask me, why don't I work with Disney since I love it so much? I probably would love to work with the archives if I could pick anything. I love the archives. I love, looking and seeing old props, and I love categorizing things and archiving things. So I would I would love to work for the archives. I think that would be so special to do. So to make there's so many jobs that I would love, but I would say for the archive. All right, so Jamie asks if I could pick one last meal at Disney Park, what would it be? This is a good question because there's so many different meals out there. But I'm thinking specifically of a meal I had at Yak and Yeti at Disney's Animal Kingdom. It was the honey chicken, and it was so good, and I have really, really good memories of it. So if I could go back and have that as my last meal, I definitely would do it. So the honey chicken over at Yak and Yeti. All right. Jamie also asked me which Disney princess gets me absolutely pumped when I see them at the park, and why is it Ariel? Well, unfortunately, Jamie, it is not Ariel. I love Ariel, don't get me wrong, but it is indeed Snow White. I don't know why. I love the way that she talks, and I just love the way that she interacts with guests. And so I love going to see her. She's really exciting. The other two would be Rapunzel and Moana. Again, I talked about them being my two of my favorite princesses, so that would be them. All right, and then Jamie asked for her final question: how would I rank the following? High School Musical, Camp Rock, Descendants, Zombies, and Teen Beach Movies. So, High School Musical would be on top. I just remember watching those movies all the time, and then going to the parks and seeing the show, and so I know the music quite well. The next one would be Descendants. I don't know why, but I really got into Descendants when it came out. When the third movie came out, I watched them, all three of them, and I'm like, hey, I actually like these movies. So, Descendants would be next, followed by Camp Rock. I love Demi Lovato, early role, and then Teen Beach Movie. I have fond memories of watching that with my nephews. My nephew Anthony used to watch that show like over and over and over again, like all day long. And when I asked them, every time I asked them, what would you like to watch? They're like, TV's movie. So that's probably why it's on the lower end as well. And then the final one, and really it just defaults by my not having seen it yet, is Zombies. So maybe it'll be higher when I actually see it, but I have not seen Zombies yet, although it is on my list of things to see. Olivia asks, what are my most favorite Disney theatrical productions? My favorite one is The Little Mermaid. I didn't get a chance to see it on Broadway or any production of it, but I know it by its soundtrack, and I just love the soundtrack. Like I love all the new songs that they produce for it, and usually there's usually something that I'm like, I don't know, but I really love all the new songs for it. Like even Ursula's new song, very different from Poor Unfortunate Souls, but I just love it. So The Little Mermaid is one of them. The next one would be Newsies. I love Newsies. And The Lion King. So those are my three favorites. The Lion King is just amazing stagecraft. So I really love it. All right, and then the final question is from Rich again, and he asks, if I could turn one Marvel movie and one Star Wars movie into a Disney musical, which one would it be? And who would have the I Want song? And what would that song be called? Well, that's the longest question. Thanks. So the first one would be for Marvel, it would be Winter Soldier. And it would be a rock opera. And Captain America would have the I Want song, and it would be called I Could Do This All Day. And then the Star Wars film a Star Wars musical would be a straight Disney musical. It would be A New Hope, and of course, Princess Leia gets the I Want song, and you know what it's going to be called. You're My Only Hope. So that's it. I answered all of your questions. I would love to get more of your questions. I would love to hear more from you about what you would like me to talk about. So please leave them in the comments below. Also, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. And hit like, please hit like on these videos. You can always reach us at CCC Disney Uni, or me personally at @Lojav. And as always, visit us at our website at www.castlescapesandclones.com. Thanks so much and see you later. Bye!